You might look at an election in Cyprus and think it's just a local issue. But what's happening in the Turkish Cypriot community? Well, it's a vote with massive implications for the entire region. We're talking about an election that's about way more than just politics. It's about identity, it's about the economy, and it could decide the future of democracy in the Eastern Mediterranean.
And to really get a handle on what's at stake here, we have to start with this quote. It kind of sets the tone, right? Because the backdrop for this election is this really chilling historical parallel, one that a lot of critics see echoing in what's happening in modern-day Turkey.
So what's this parallel that critics are pointing to? It's the Nuremberg Laws. Now, I know that's a heavy comparison, but it shows you just how alarmed they are. Back in 1935, these weren't just hateful words. This was the legal playbook for discrimination in Nazi Germany, stripping an entire group of people of their rights. It's a pretty stark reminder of how law can be turned into a weapon.
Okay, so how does a history lesson from the 1930s connect to today? Well, that echo is being heard loud and clear in some proposed laws in Turkey. And that's casting a long, dark shadow over its neighbors, especially the Turkish Cypriot community.
This isn't just some abstract fear. It's tied to this proposed 11th Judicial Package. I mean, look at what's in it. You could face prison time for expressions that are contrary to biological sex. It makes gender reassignment way more difficult, and it basically criminalizes the public identity of LGBTQI+ individuals. All of this is being done under the banner of protecting the family institution. So you can see why critics are so worried. For them, this isn't just one bad law. It's a clear move towards systematically marginalizing a group of people. They see it as a really profound authoritarian attack on basic human rights, and that's what's driving that comparison back to the Nuremberg era. And here's the thing, this isn't happening in a bubble. This authoritarian shift is taking place right in the middle of what you could call a perfect storm of national turmoil inside Turkey.
And that storm? It's really two massive crises crashing into each other. On one side, you've got this escalating political repression, right? More and more illiberal laws, a push for a conservative social agenda. And on the other side, the economy is in serious trouble. We're talking stubborn inflation and a currency crisis. When you mix those two things, you get an incredibly volatile environment, where a government might just try to tighten its grip even more. Now you might be thinking, okay, that's happening in Turkey, but this storm doesn't respect borders. It's spilling right over and hitting the Turkish Cypriot community directly.
And here's the crucial link, the reason why. The economy of the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, or the TRNC, which isn't recognized by most of the world, is completely tied to Ankara. That dependence is the key vulnerability. It means Turkey's problems become their problems.
It's a really simple but brutal chain reaction. First, Turkey's economy is in a nosedive. Second, the TRNC uses the Turkish Lira. So what happens? The value of people's savings, their salaries, it just evaporates. Turkey's economic crisis becomes a very real, very personal crisis for every single person in northern Cyprus.
So you put all of this together, the political pressure from Ankara, the economic pain at home, and that's the backdrop for this election. This isn't just a vote. It's a choice between two completely different futures.
Yeah, the choice facing voters is about so much more than policy details. It's a decision between two fundamentally opposing worldviews, two totally different paths for their community, and really for the entire island of Cyprus. All right, let's look at the two main players here, because the contrast is, well, it's pretty stark. On one side, you've got the incumbent, Ersin Tatar. He's pushing for a two-state solution, which would permanently split the island, and he's very closely aligned with Ankara. On the other side, you have Tufan Erhürman. He wants a federal solution based on UN plans. He openly rejects Ankara's interference, and his vision is much more secular and European. You couldn't get two more different options.
So when you step back, you realize this election is way bigger than just Tatar versus Erhürman. It's basically a referendum on the very soul of the Turkish Cypriot community.
At the end of the day, this is what it all boils down to. Voters are deciding who they are and where they see themselves in the world. Is their future going to be tied to the path Turkey's on, or are they going to choose a different one that's more secular, liberal, and looks towards Europe?
And you better believe the rest of the world is watching, because the stakes are regional. The source material puts it perfectly. This vote is a crucial barometer. It's going to tell us which way the wind is blowing in that much bigger struggle between democratic values and authoritarianism across the entire Eastern Mediterranean.
Which brings us to the big question, the one that hangs over this entire situation. Faced with all this economic pain and political pressure, what future are the Turkish Cypriot people going to choose for themselves?
I mean, that's what's on the ballot.
Will they choose closer ties with an increasingly authoritarian and economically fragile Turkey? Or will they opt for a secular, liberal, European path? Their vote could lock in the permanent division of an island and, in a way, help decide the fate of democratic values in the region. It's a powerful choice, and the consequences are going to be felt for years to come.